Parados, güey. Hello everyone, we're here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and today we want to talk about something that some of our friends have asked us, and they usually do because there is this time in your life that you remember certain things about who you are, why you're here, and especially if you have any emanation from different either galactic races or just galactic beings, because we all do. I mean, yes, we are human and we must honor our humanness more than anything else. But there is also the awareness that there are other beings in the universe, in other galaxies, that are here with us, interacting with us, and the only way to perceive them is by raising our frequency. And of course, raising our frequency, as we have explained, it means a lot of things for us. It means this: just to come to the beach, to the ocean, or to spend time in nature and simply get rid of our shoes, which I'm gonna do right now, and stay quiet just for a little bit and breathe, and always be aware of our surroundings and ground not only on Pachamama, on Gaia, but grounding your own essence, which is to become aware of who you are through breathing, which is what connects us to this dimension. Yeah. But mostly the things that we want to talk about tonight or today, it's about how we connected to these beings for the first time. And when I say these beings, I'm referring to this Arcturian consciousness that at the time it didn't make a lot of sense. They presented more as beings rather than a consciousness. But as you advance in your process of evolution and understanding, then you start to realize that yes, they are beings, and they have unique attributes that makes them who they are. And eventually we understood that they were part of a consciousness. They are all one, and we're only going to share our experience. We are not trying to explain who they are, because that's not why but rather how they presented in their unique way to us, which it was in Miami. Right now we're in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. But back in Miami about 6 or 7 years ago, we shared that commonality in the way they presented themselves to us, because we were both laying in bed in my room and in his room, and we heard this voice, very powerful, almost like in a movie, like a very deep voice, like a male. In my case, it was a male voice that said, "We are the Arcturians." So my body I heard that in my subconscious, but I thought it was a dream, and I've never heard that before. And then for the second time I heard, "We are the Arcturians," in a very loving way, even though it was a deep, powerful voice, but also like an invitation to connect with them. So my body just automatically like rised from my bed. And I remember my hands coming like this, in this position, and they came here. So for a few seconds, I'll say for 25 to 30 seconds, I couldn't move, but not because I was paralyzed. I simply kept that position because it felt right in my heart. So at that moment, I simply felt invited to this relationship in a very loving way. And that was the first time that I heard of these beautiful beings. And I think my brother sort of like connected in the same way for the first time. And it was very similar, except I was sleeping, and at some point my body became like very straight, and then almost like a vampire, I came like this. It was like me waking up from a dream or something, and my hands also went to my forehead, and the same voice, I guess it was the same voice, said the same thing: "We are the Arcturians." And they said it 3 times, making sure, I guess, that I understood who they were. Now, whether this was a dream, it wasn't a dream because I was awake, and whether I imagined it, whether we made it up, it was a coincidence that it happened the same way to the both of us. And then my voice started to say, I am an Arcturian, also 3 times. And I'm not saying that I'm an Arcturian, no, I'm a human being. But at that moment, I felt like I was connecting to this energy that was telling me I am an Arcturian. Today I understand again that more than single beings, they belong to a consciousness, and it's the consciousness that we connect to. And after this first contact, we started to have a lot of different events happening to us in our lives, and they all happen at night in the beginning, at least for the first few months. And the first few months, I mean like maybe 5-6 months. It happened in a very natural way, because every time they would come, it just felt natural. It felt familiar. It didn't feel threatening at all. So they always presented themselves like around 3 a.m. in my case, and I felt that my hands and my body would move in a certain way, like in circular motion on my forehead, in my heart, and I got this understanding that they were working energetically with me at a chakra level. And that was an understanding. And back then, I didn't believe in chakras. I didn't believe in alignments. I didn't. It's not like we didn't believe. We didn't know. I mean, we didn't know. I wasn't familiar at all. I believe in energy, of course. Everything is energy. But I wasn't familiar with all these themes and concepts that it just came naturally in my head as a reminder. It's like I was remembering all these things, and my hands were a way for me to remember all this wisdom that exists within. As a matter of fact, not only they would work energetically, they would also work physically, because at some point, the first time I ever got up from my bed, it's like I was laying down, like my brother said, like a vampire. I sat on my bed very straight from my back and my legs extended. All of a sudden, my body turned around. I sat down, and the first position I ever did that I felt this energy coming through, it was this position. My body just got up and did this position, like a squatting position, and I just felt my hips for the first time opening. I've never done that position in my life. I didn't even know it existed, honestly. But it just felt like there was this opening of not just my hips, but of my whole body was opening up to this new reality. So for 6 months, they were just often I mean every day, every night, they would present themselves in the same manner, and whether it was energetically or physically making me do what I knew as yoga. I was like, I'm doing yoga. This is like literally yoga, in positions that we all know. I mean, for those who know yoga. And I recognized those poses, and my body just would do them naturally, as if I was a yogi. And I thought maybe I was a yogi in a past life, and I'm just remembering all these poses. And also energetically, well, it was fascinating because there was so many things that they were doing. And at some point I asked, what are you doing? Like, look, I don't question what you're doing. I trust completely and surrender to this energy work. But what are you doing? And there was a voice or an understanding, I don't remember, that was like, we are extending your life. And it was so clear, because we need you in this planet just a little longer than you think. So it was just a beautiful realization for me that maybe I was needed. Maybe it did matter what I was learning with them. And today I understand exactly what they meant with, we need you here. Now I feel actually needed on planet Earth. And like my brother said, not because I feel I'm an Arcturian or an alien. No, I'm a human. But for the first time, and it's been a while, I feel a sense of purpose, a sense of being needed, and a sense of wanting to help more than ever. So that's briefly my experience on how they approached me and how they introduced themselves. And the same way they worked on him, and he got all this understanding the same way I did. But also something that we share is that we started to learn how to work with energy, like he said, with chakras. So not only did we learn how to do it on ourselves, we also learned how to do it on people. So understanding and voices would tell us what to do, and not even, they would just show us what to do while working with people. And the results started to become really amazing. And surprisingly, there was a point where we had sort of a, I'm not going to say a technique or a system, because it's never the same. What we do for people or with people is always different. It's never like, if you are even on a session with us, you'll notice that it's always different. We don't have really a system, but it's a system. It's just always tailored to whomever we're working with or we're assisting at that moment. It's just a very intuitive system, but it is a system. So more than just a contact, because I know a lot of people want to have contact, and what we always remind them is that contact happens as a result of service. And before we were introduced to this consciousness, we were already doing some sort of service to our brothers and sisters, friends, family. And I feel like when higher vibrational frequencies know or notice that you are doing the work, at some point they offer their help to you. And this is my understanding, that because people ask me, how do I do it? And by the way, we're writing this ebook to tell people, to show people how to do it based on our experience, and not because it's the only way, but how we did it, at least, or how we do it. But the first time we didn't follow any steps. It just happened as a result, again, of our service that eventually became more than contact. It became a relationship. And today we feel that we have a beautiful relationship with this consciousness, and we feel one with them, not because, again, we're Arcturians. No, it's because it's like when you become really good friends with someone, or you marry someone, or you're just really close to someone, you just feel like one with them. So that's how we feel about this consciousness. But also, it wasn't a coincidence. It was something that we really wanted. We wanted contact because we all know that extraterrestrial life and higher consciousness beings exist, and we were looking for this in books, in meditations, in workshops, in all this energy. You know, they say that energy flows where your attention goes, and it is true. We were so focused on manifesting contact with a more intelligent, a more conscious race that we actually did. It's a matter of focus and where your attention is. And if you are always, constantly, and for a while, I mean, not forever, constantly looking for a type of information, for a type of contact, for a type of relationships, it's literally like in real life. When you want to date a girl,
manifest something,
or a guy, it doesn't matter. You know, you want to become friends with someone. All you have to do is to constantly be like calling them and looking for them. You know, expressing to them the passion you have for that relationship, and eventually they answer. They're always answering because they're also always listening. But sometimes when we don't become grounded enough and aligned and pure at heart and feel good, then we can listen to them. But they're always listening.
yeah. And it doesn't just happen with the Arcturian consciousness or beings, it happens to any different consciousness or higher vibrational frequencies. And again, with this, we're not trying to suggest that you should try to communicate, or we're only sharing our experience with what we consider a really high vibrational frequency consciousness. And for us, and the reason why we're doing this video is because we're always showing or telling people how to do it, but we have never really shared how our contact or our connection with these beings started. So we're happy to share this information. Again, don't take it as a truth. So it's only our truth, and it happened to the both of us almost at the same time, within days. And so it was a confirmation that what happened to him then happened to me, and it was actually almost identical. and we both
In
have
nature.
our own relationship. He has his own relationship, I have my own relationship. We don't come, it's not like we both have a relationship with them as twins. No, we have it separately, individually, and the connection that we have, we share it, and we combine what they have taught us individually, I guess, and that's how we do our work.
So once again, thank you very much for listening, for watching, and I hope you find this information useful to your own
Helpful.
process. And we're always happy to connect with you guys. And
To
our
answer
information is
questions.
always included in our videos.
Videos, yes.
You can email us. That's probably the easiest way for us to connect and to answer back to any questions. And we're always happy to share more information to anyone that is looking for it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be having and posting more videos about not just Arcturians' experience with plant medicine, ayahuasca, San Pedro, mushrooms, all kinds of interesting information that you might like. Thank you again. Namaste.
Namaste.